Why am I starting a production company? Why am I making a TV show independently? Why am I doing any of this? Well, let me tell you. The why of any business is important. The why of a project is really important. It gives you a project goal. Something to work towards and something that you can align the rest of the business and all parts of the project to. It gives you a North Star. Something that I've been debating back and forth a lot about is whether to talk about who I am personally on the internet. Something that scares me. I don't like the idea of getting hate comments, but what can you do? But the thing that's been on my mind recently is Proverbs 3:5. Acknowledge the Lord in all thy ways, and he shall direct thy paths, or something along those lines. I really do believe that I've seen God directing my paths as I've gone on this project, but I have not been acknowledging him in all my ways. And I want to acknowledge him here, publicly. I recognize that this will do something good for me because I'm starting out, right? I'm still in the beginning. This isn't a big reveal down the line that I believe in God. It's something that I'm saying up front that may even help me find my audience. I don't want my TV show to be preachy. My intent isn't to have each episode be a sermon or anything like that. I've been really inspired by J.R.R. Tolkien, which is funny because I haven't read The Lord of the Rings and I didn't really watch the movies until recently in my life. But the way that he managed to tell a story that had layers and meaning and depth based on his own personal beliefs is really... I like it. I like that, and I would love to emulate that a little bit. The reason I want to do this, my why, is because I believe that Jesus Christ is real, that he was a real person, that he's really the Son of God, and that he's really going to come again. And I don't think that I have any... it's not all on me. But what I want to do is help prepare the world for the second coming of Jesus Christ. And I know how that sounds. If people don't believe in Jesus, that's a pretty crazy thing to hear. But the way I want to help prepare the world is by putting something out in the world that is good, that is family friendly, and that supports the ideals of family, love, forgiveness, tolerance, acceptance, peacemaking, these things that I feel are becoming rare in the world. I want to show them in these stories and in these characters. And I don't think that that's gonna change the world. I don't think that I'm gonna make the first episode and then suddenly everything's gonna be better. But I do think that it can mean something to an individual. And I want to make this show for the one person out there who needs it. And maybe it'll change one person's life. I really hope it does. And I'm pretty scared. I'm pretty scared of talking about this. I'm scared of failure. I'm scared that this story, because it's a fun adventure with deeper meanings underneath, isn't biblical enough to warrant miracles. But I have already seen God's hand in the stuff I'm working on. He has really inspired me. And he's really helped me. There have been changes I've made to the script that have felt like they haven't come from my own mind. I, after seeing Project Hail Mary, took all the swear words out of the script and there weren't many, but I wanted it to be as family friendly as possible, as pro family as it could possibly be. And there may be little kids that could watch this show, maybe. I don't know. I'm gearing it mostly to adults and teenagers, but it's possible that kids will watch. And so I want to make it appropriate for families. And, you know, that feels a little silly, but I want to do it the way God wants me to do it. And so I've just been praying all along the way, and I've been seeking for what His will is in regards to this project. It's hard to believe that God has given me these gifts and these interests for me to not pursue them. I feel like He's put something in my heart. And to follow it is to honor Him. And I want to. I want to honor Him, and I'm praying that I can do the things that He would have me do. Some of the things that I want to share is that along the journey, I have seen how God has helped me find people who will help me in this project. And my prayer has been that they will help me and I will help them in return. And my goal is not to convert the actors I work with. I don't think my goal isn't even to convert anyone. My goal is to put Christ-like values out into the world. Gives people something uplifting to watch. And I know there are already uplifting things out in the world, but I want to put more. I want to put more into the world that is uplifting and lovely. So that said, I don't want to put anything on my actors. I don't want to push them in any direction. But I had an experience recently that felt very God-directed. I was praying to find these people that I can help and who will help me in return, that it'll be reciprocal. And I was going through the actors who had applied, and there was one actress who had applied for Adelaide or Blaine. Adelaide is a teenager, and Blaine is a male police officer. And this actress is 23, I think. And so she could work as Adelaide. I could, make it work. But I just I felt like I really wanted teenagers to play the teenagers. Because that's when I got into filmmaking, was it when I was in high school, and so I wanted to give kids the opportunity to get into what they love. And I thought that I could maybe change Blaine from a man to a woman if her audition was really compelling. But I wasn't so sure, because these characters are based on... This story is based on stories I told growing up that I made drawings for, and Blaine has always been who he is, and it feels right to leave him as he is and let his story arc be what I had it as originally. And so I just wasn't sure. And you would think, because there have been several applications I've received where the actor was good, they did a good job, but they just didn't fit the role. And it just didn't feel right. And so you would think that because I didn't have a role for her, I would just go, okay, sorry, but, keep moving on. She hadn't responded to my initial email, or maybe she had, but it had been a long time since she and I had communicated. And I felt something. I didn't actually pause. I didn't feel something. I thought something. I just thought, well, I should see if she fits the project somehow. Maybe I should write her a role, which felt kind of crazy because I'd finished the pilot and there wasn't room for another character in my mind. It didn't make any sense. But when I was going back through my old drawings of all these characters, I came across drawings of Adelaide's older sister, or older sisters, I should say. Peyton and Diana, they were twins in the original, but I've combined the characters into just Diana and used different aspects of them to create this new character. And it solved the problem of what's Adelaide's home life like? Why can she be out on these adventures? Like, aren't her parents worried about her? It solved an issue because now Adelaide lives at home with her older sister, who is her legal guardian at this time, and there's a backstory there that will be revealed. And in the original stories, both Peyton and Diana did not have love interests of any kind. They didn't have romantic relationships. They were just sort of more focused on mystery and action and that sort of thing. And so this character became someone who was like a prom queen, beauty queen, cheerleader in high school. That was Peyton's side of it. And then became more of an edgier, action-oriented, a little sarcastic, and a little jaded character, which was Diana's side of it. And so now it's just Diana's past was this and changed to this. Again, the origin will be revealed. But now she's a police officer, a rookie. She's Blaine's rookie, and so it kind of ties some threads together. Adelaide's story now connects to Blaine and the adult adventures in a way. And when I met with the actress, so I sent her this character and I said, hey, I wrote these scenes. These are unrefined, but I think you would be a good fit for this character, and I wrote it in so that you could have something to audition for. And she was excited about it. She responded. and sent me on audition pretty quickly. And I was like, okay, this is happening. This is how it's going to be. And so God put something on my mind, and it started to work out, but it gets even better. Because when I met with this actress, we were talking, and she said, I was a cheerleader in high school. I've done that. I've been part of that world. And then she studied criminal justice in college and worked as a police dispatcher and had experience in that world. And it gets even better because she said, my one request is that I don't have any romance scenes. Like, she said, I'm fine if it's like flirting or whatever, but she said she didn't want to do any kissing, canoodling, and the like, because it's really important to her in a relationship that she not do that. And I said, no worries. That's not part of the character. It never has been. And it just really struck me that this character, sorry, I'm laughing because of the irony of what I thought to say, but it's true. This character and this actress seem like a match made in heaven. And it's hard to deny that, to me. It's hard to deny that. So, the point of all this, I guess, is to say that I've seen God's hand. I've seen His hand in this project. I believe He is helping me. I believe He will help me. And I acknowledge Him. I acknowledge His help. And I want Him to have the credit for anything good that comes out of this, because I know that all good things come from God. So, anyway, that's one of the reasons why. I have been working hard, making the story as good as I can, but I have to carve out an audience, so however that happens. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want updates about Half-Life Eternity or my production company in the Dragon Studios. And I will see you next time.